Kamo, a short story from my book Walking in the Dark. Kamo. Ramu woke up early in the morning and left his house. His wife was still sleeping. Due to summer vacation, the children were off from school. They were sleeping too. Ramu had to go to the marketplace in the close by city, a city he hated the most, but he had no choice. He owned a small produce market in the town which he inherited from his father. In order to operate the produce market, he had to get up every morning and go to the marketplace in the city to buy produce for reselling. Before him, his father Dinu used to do the same. Ramu was the only son of Dinu. When Dinu died, Ramu was hardly 15 years old. He was an 8th grader at the local high school. The day after the burial of his father's dead body in the town's only graveyard, Ramu picked up his bag to go to school, but his mother stopped him. No, son, you won't go to school any longer. Your father has died. The children whose father died do not go to school. Instead, they go to work, she told him in a voice full of pain. Her painful plea brought tears in Ramu's eyes. He did not want his mother to see his teary eyes. He turned his face the other way and went back to the only room in the house to put his bag away. Ramu's young mind did not believe his mother's words. Before today, she always motivated him to go to school. How will you become a successful man if you won't go to school? She told him. What had changed today? He was thinking. Only his father had passed away. As a lad, he could not comprehend why he had to quit school after the demise of his father. Financial matters were not yet part of his understanding. After putting his bag away in the room, he came out and asked, Mother, Mother, if I am not going to school, what am I going to do? His mother kissed his forehead with teary eyes. Son, from now on, you have to go to the marketplace in the city, buy produce and sell it in the bazaar in your father's place to earn our livelihood. With his mother's command deep down in Ramu's heart, unknown fears crept in. He thought he was too young for all this. He did not know how things worked at the city marketplace. He did not know how to buy produce at the marketplace and bring it back in the town and sell it to the local customers. Dino never took him along to teach him the trade. He did not want his son to sell produce like him. Instead, he wanted his son to become a successful man. In Dino's mind, a successful man was one who studied in college, worked in an office, and wore pants and a coat. Like the saying goes, time is the best teacher. After a few months, Ramu's father's shoes fitted him well. His customers occasionally reminded him about his father, but most of them were now very much accustomed to his services. When he became 16, his mother started talking to him about his wedding plans. Your uncle's daughter, Kamo, is almost of your age. You should tie the knot with her. She should say earnestly. She would say earnestly. Ramu loved Kamo too. However, he looked at Kamo as a sister. He did not have his own sister. He always told Kamo she was his sister, and he would find a handsome young boy for her to get married. Kamu's eyes always glittered with the idea of getting married to a handsome young man, and then she would shyly run away without answering him. The young man in her mind was Ramu. When his mother proposed that he should marry his uncle's daughter, he told her he did not like Kamu. He did not want to break his mother's heart by telling her that Kamu was like a sister to him and he wouldn't marry her. One day, when his mother insisted too much, he told her that he was in love with another girl in the town. The mention of another girl raised curiosity in his mother's heart. She wanted to know if the girl was prettier and wiser than her lovely niece Kammu. Obviously, there was no girl. Ramu had just wanted to shift his mother's focus from Kamo. After this talk between the mother and the son, a couple of years passed. Though she wanted Ramu to marry Kamo, she wanted to give him the opportunity to marry the girl of his choice. He had clearly crossed he had already crossed his 18th birthday. Now he was a grown-up man. He had already replaced his father's image in the marketplace in the city, among the shopkeepers in the bazaar, and in his customers' minds. Nobody ever mentioned his father any longer. Instead, everyone dealt with him. One late evening, when Ramu returned from the shop, he saw his mother lying on a cot. Her eyes were shut and her face was pale. She was sobbing with severe abdominal pain. Finding her in this pitiable condition, he immediately ran to fetch the local doctor to get medical aid for his mother. Upon listening his mother's condition, the doctor rushed with him to his house. After checking her pulse, the doctor gave her an injection and left a few doses of pills for her, telling him there was nothing serious about her pain. Before leaving, the doctor told him he would return in a couple of days to check on her once again. She felt relief in her pain after the doctor gave her the injection. With the pain gone, she immediately started talking to her son about his marriage. She told him she may not live too long, therefore he should marry while she was still alive. Ramu kissed his mother's forehead and told her that she was going to live long enough to see him marry and play with her grandchildren. The idea of grandchildren made her smile. Ramu's mother asked him to arrange her meeting with the girl's family so that she could ask them for her hand. He tried to shift his mother's focus by talking about different things, but she wouldn't budge. She insisted on knowing about the girl he loved. He never knew any other girl. He had made up a story to calm her down. How could he know another girl? He did not have much time. His life was completely tied up with daily chores such as getting up early in the morning, going to the marketplace in the city, bringing the produce back to town, keeping the produce fresh by spraying water all day long, and selling it. He did not have a day off. National and religious holidays were working days for him. It was a 7-day job from 4 a.m. in the morning till 7 or 8 in the evening. He did not have time to think about himself. How could he find time to think about a girl? In the past, he had only mentioned another girl to calm his mother. Her sudden sickness made her raise the issue again. Under the influence of the injection, she felt okay for a few hours. As the influence of the medicine ceased, the pain came back. He gave her a dose of the pills the doctor had left for her, but the pain excruciated. Worried, Ramu again ran for the doctor. It was very late at night. The doctor was sleeping at his residence. Upon hearing the news about the condition of Ramu's mother, the doctor asked him to rush back to the house while he would follow him. On the way back from the doctor's residence, Ramu stopped at his uncle's house and told him about the precarious health of his mother. His uncle, along with his family, rushed to Ramu's house. Kamo also accompanied them. By the time Ramu and his uncle's family made it to Ramu's house, the doctor was already there re-examining his mother. This time the doctor broke the bad news to the family. He said the lady was at the last stage of abdominal cancer, which had spread in many other adjacent organs, and she may not live too long. He advised the family to take her to the cancer hospital in the city. For now, the doctor again gave her another injection to relieve the pain. After a second injection, she again felt a little relief. After the doctor left, she told her brother that she was very sick and she may not live too long. She said she was afraid that if she went to the hospital for treatment, she may not even return from the hospital alive. She requested her brother daughter to marry his daughter Kamo to her son Ramu for the sake of her happiness. As she had shown this intention earlier to her brother, at many occasions, he looked at her with tearful eyes. His facial impressions reflected the pain he was feeling inside for his sister's suffering and pain because of her illness. He loved his sister very much. He would do anything for her. He pondered for a few minutes and then he told everyone present that he would leave now and return in few minutes. After leaving, he returned after a little while. The main mosque's mullah and a couple of his friends accompanied him. He asked his nephew and his daughter to get ready in a few minutes as the mullah would perform their marriage ceremony. His ailing sister looked at her son and niece with a pale smile. Her pain was evident from her gaze. Her pain tore down the hearts of everyone present. Her son and niece particularly felt very bad. However, they did not know how they could comfort her. They silently got up, uh, freshened up with the water in the restroom, wore clean clothes, and sat on a nearby cot. The mullah performed their marriage ceremony. He asked Ramu if he accepted Kammu as his lawful wife. Ramu answered, I do, in a meek voice. The mullah repeated this question 3 times. Ramu answered in the same manner every time. Then he asked Kammu if she accepted Ramu as her lawful husband. Kamo answered yes in a melodious voice. Then he repeated the same question to Kamo 3 times. Every time she replied "Ya" in the same melodious voice. Regardless of the somber environment, Kamo sounded happy. Kamo's father's 2 friends became the witnesses of the Ramu's marriage to Kamo. Then the mullah pronounced them husband and wife. Afterwards, he prayed for their prosperous and happy married life. Upon pronouncement of their marriage, Ramu's mother looked at them with a pale smile. Then she looked at her brother with thankful eyes. While looking at her brother, she flickered like a candle light, and then, breathing her last breath, she shut her eyes. As soon as she closed her eyes, the somber marriage ceremony turned into a small mourning session. Everyone was sobbing and crying. The next morning, instead of going to the city hospital, Ramu's mother's dead body was laid to rest in the local graveyard. After the burial, the mourning was over. The grief was still in the air. Kamu's father and mother left soon after. However, Kamo remained behind with Ramu now. Kamo was Ramu's wife. Ramu did not go to the marketplace in the city for the last couple of days because of the illness and sudden death of his mother. For these couple of days, his produce shop remained closed. For these couple of nights, Ramu and Kamu slept on separate beds. The illness and death of their mother did not let them think like a young wedded couple. They both felt a little ambivalence in their new relationship. Ramu and Kamu both remembered their exchanges about the marriage. She remembered how Ramu always told her that he would find a handsome man for her and how she shyly ran away from him. Her facial expression at such occasions were still fresh in his mind too. The 2 cousins grew up side by side together, treating each other like brother and sister. Now they were in a new role in their lives, a husband's and a wife's role. But they were both a little hesitant to accept this new role. It is true they were cousins. Cousins marriages are a frequent phenomenon in local culture. Nothing stopped them from marrying each other, but Ramu's mind kept wandering. On the third day, early in the morning, Kamo asked Ramu to get up and go to the marketplace and bring produce and open the shop. Ramu got up. He started taking a shower in order to get ready to go to the marketplace in the city. It was still dark around. His fair and strong body was lightly glittering even in the dark. Kamo saw he was trying to apply soap on his back, but his hands wouldn't reach the middle of his shoulders. She took the soap from Ramu's hands and started applying it on his body. The sudden touch of Kamu's hands gave good feelings to Ramu. After applying the soap on the back, Kamu wanted to hand over the soap to Ramu, but he asked her to apply the soap on the rest of his body. Wherever her hands reached on his body, Ramu felt a magical feeling. The water up was running, fresh water was flowing on his body. Kamo's hands aroused the sleeping man in Ramu. It He turned his face toward Kamo and pulled her in his arms. She tried to slip away like a fish, but Ramu's grip was strong enough to not let her. On that morning, Ramu and Kamu started a new journey. Kamu gave many beautiful children to Ramu as a good wife and mother. Kamu took care of family matters, whereas every morning Ramu went to the marketplace in the city, brought fresh produce, and sold it in the town. Life went on. This was the story, Kammu, from my book, Walking in the Dark. Thank you very much.